has its base word gene. Because like a human being has a genetic makeup. And inside of that genetic makeup, there are two DNA spirals. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
They call them a helix. They cross one another, and on each one of these helixes, there are small lines on them, and each line represents a different either physical or spiritual characteristic of a human being. But those physical and spiritual characteristics are not taught in a school. They're born in the very genetic makeup. It comes with the product. Education is not supposed to take something from here and put it on you. Education from the Latin root word educere is supposed to be a process that brings out of you what God has already put in you. You already have God's genetic makeup. You already are in possession of divine DNA. You already have holy heredity. There is no God that you should be looking up to out in the sky. No, there has to be knowledge and wisdom and understanding and obedience to divine law that activates the God within. Y'all still okay?
Yes, sir.
So just like a gene in the body can tell the whole story of a man or woman.
That's right.
So it is with the gene-ness of the Bible. It covers the whole Bible.
Yes, sir.
Y'all still okay?
Yes, sir.
I got 7 new people.
Okay, we keeping count.
On that.
Yes, sir. We keeping
I got
count.
about 16 and about 200 to go. Oh, God. Y'all gonna have to all ride with me. This is my last one now. Did you know that the scholars in Islam say that even though this book, Holy Quran, is made up of 114 chapters, that technically the first chapter of the Holy Quran is really Al-Baqarah, the cow.
Yes, sir. Come on. Come on.
The first chapter of the Holy Quran is really not a chapter in a traditional sense.
Yes, sir.
It's called Al-Fatiha.
Yes, sir.
These 10 verses are the oft-repeated prayer of the Muslim.
Yes, sir.
If we make all of our 5 daily prayers, we will recite Al-Fatiha 32 times per day.
Yes, sir. Come on.
However, they have found that by studying the ingredients that are inside of Al-Fatiha, that Al-Fatiha really is the entire Holy Quran in concise form. So if a believer understood the dynamics and the dimensions of just the 10 verses of Al-Fatiha, they would understand the dimensions of the entire Holy Quran. So if Genesis is the whole Bible, Al-Fatiha is the whole Holy Quran. Inside of us, when we were born with our past, present, and future already inside of us called genetic makeup. If the island of Pelan had lying and murder that gave the white man his nature, then if it worked for Pelan, if the beginning worked for the Bible, if the beginning worked for Quran, and the beginning worked for us, then the law under which a thing comes into existence gives that thing its nature. So the question we should be asking on the 8th day of January, what law are we going to bring the new year in?
Yes, sir.
Because whatever law we bring the new year in is going to dictate the nature of it.
That's right. That's right.
I submit to you, brothers and sisters, that the reason why 92% of these resolutions are recycled is because we make the plan, but we follow it up with actions that are opposite of what we say our goals are. How can we say that this is going to be the year that I'm going to lose weight, but as soon as the clock strikes 12, we find the biggest piece of red velvet cake we can find? How can we say this is going to be a year where I'm going to get my health all the way together, but the first thing we do is get some chitlins and some black-eyed peas? Now that's a throwback. Do I have any OGs in the audience that was born in the 60s?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do?
Yes, sir.
Any triple OGs born in the 40s and the 50s?
Yes, sir.
You might have to be triple OG status to know something about some chitlins and a bowl of black-eyed peas to start the new year off.
That's right. That's right.
But how can you declare that you get say make this the healthy year for you, and you started off as unhealthy as you can with some chitlins and some black-eyed peas.
Go ahead.
Some people say, you know what, this is going to be the year that I find true love. But as soon as the clock strikes 12, you kiss the first person that you see. Come on now, what kind of math is that?
Go ahead, brother.
This is going to be the year where I'm going to be sane, I'm going to be sober.
Come on. Go ahead.
And you walking around with a bottle. I'm already drunk before 12.
Go ahead.
Something wrong with the way we start the year off.
That's right.
This is going to be a year of love and peace for me.
Come on.
And to show you, I'm going to start the year off shooting my gun up in the air. How you going to have a year of peace if you started off with war? How can you have a year of health if you started off with some chitlins and black-eyed peas? How you going to have a year of weight loss if you started with red velvet cake? How you going to have a year of finding Mr. Right or Mrs. Right if you start off kissing the first person you see? How you going to be sane and sober if you start off the year drunk? Know the law under which a thing comes into existence. Gives that thing its nature. So today, brothers and sisters of Detroit, I'm asking for us to come together and let's hit the reset button.
Yes, sir.
And let's start this thing over right. What do y'all think? All praise are due to Allah. Black people, we all should be able to really go get us a disability check. Come on now. Every time you see somebody cutting up and you see them cutting up consistently, first thing you say is that, yeah, she crazy. No, I'm serious, man. But dude, he got mental problems. He got mental issues. Well, breaking news. We all crazy. Breaking news, we all got a little mental problem.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Anybody in here that don't think you crazier than the one that is with. Huh? Don't they tell you in the NA or the AA that the first phase of recovery is you got to admit that you got a problem?
That's right.
You show up at the meeting, right?
Yes, sir.
And you got to come clean.
That's right.
Well, we need to have an NA. It's going to be called Negroes Anonymous. Huh? So, by the time you get finished calculating all of the excuse-itis that black people have, and the negativity that we express on a daily basis, what? Did I say something wrong? I said negativity. No, I know I said negativity. Negativity is a special type of negative only black folks know how to do to one another. It ain't in the dictionary, but you know it's a real term. See, it's negativity whatever you see on TV, a white pizza restaurant put some extra sauce on your pizza when they delivered it. Now, I'm talking about no tomato sauce. And then you'll say, you know what, I ain't never ordering from them no more. 2 weeks later, you back ordering your meatloaf. But let a black restaurant.
Come on.
You let them short you one hush puppy. First thing, see? This is why I don't like doing no business with no niggas. Look, I ain't never coming back. And not only do we not come, we tell everybody.
That's right. That's what we do. That's what we do.
We hard on one another, but real merciful on the enemy. Maybe that's why God styled us in the scripture as a sheep-like people. Because sheep are easily led in the wrong direction. But they're hard to lead in the right direction. Sheep will attack other sheep. But sheep never will attack the shepherd dog. Sheep never unite and attack the shepherd boy. Sheep don't come together and even attack the wolf. Wouldn't it seem like that if you are a group of sheep, that your number one enemy wouldn't be your fellow brother and sister sheep? It would be the wolf would turn their forces and say, well, wait a minute.
Yeah, come on. Go ahead, brother.
It's 100 of us.
Yeah, right.
And it's only one lassie.
Come on.
And one little biff. Why don't we turn on them and then run them to the...
That's right.
But we hard on one another. That's negativity. Now, I don't know if you all have this problem in Detroit, but there's something that... Have you ever heard of the term called the crabs in the barrel mentality?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, does that happen in Detroit too?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See, the crabs in the... No, Detroit is different. It's all, everybody that's black is in love with each other, support one another.
Oh, we got our credit.
I was agreeing to say something we used to say back in the old days, Brother Troy, but I can't say it because this is the Mosque Sanctuary Facebook Live. But I was going to say, nigga, please. But we can't say that. You can't say that. I was going, that's what I was speaking. That's right. I told you we got to have a meeting. I got NA, Negroes Anonymous. Hi, my name is Nuri, and I am a Negro. I am a recovering Negro. I have been clean from negativity for 21 days and 6 hours, but I am still in recovery. You all right?
Yes, sir.
Well, the crabs in the barrel mentality, see, when you have all crabs in the barrel, most of the time you don't put crabs in the barrel except somebody's getting ready to take them to either sell them or cook them.
Yes, right. That's right.
So all the crabs in the barrel are clear that there's an impending doom coming.
Yes, sir.
So when the crabs are in the barrel, at a certain point, a few crabs realize that if I climb on the back of this crab and on the claw of this crab, then I can climb on out the barrel and get free.
Go ahead, brother.
But the other crabs in the barrel, instead of seeing the crab that's on their way out and seeing another one go out, instead of saying, you know what, wait a minute. If it only takes 3 of us to free one, and it's 100 of us in the barrel, then if 3 of us free one at a time, we can get 97 out. And if 97 go out, maybe they can tip the whole barrel, and then us 3 can go free. But even if they can't, at least only 3 of us will die.
Yes, sir.
But the crabs in the barrel mentality is not that. See, when crabs in the barrel mentality says, whenever the crabs start getting out the barrel and the other ones realize that they're using me to get out of the barrel, first thing they look up and say, who this crab think he is? And instead of using that claw to push them out the barrel, they use the claw to pull them back down into the hole. And the next thing you know, all of them become sold or all of them become cooked.
That's right.
That's negativity. It's negativity to blame the white man for 95% of our problems, but still spend 97% of our money with him. Did you hear me? We were on the radio the other day negotiating the second run for the protests and the boycott of business. And you know, Negroes, we always got some escape clause. Maybe not in Detroit. But we always got an escape clause on how we're going to figure out why we shouldn't do something that's going to take a little discipline. But black people, we have discipline. We just have selective discipline. LeBron James is not the athlete he is right now without discipline. Steph Curry doesn't say, he doesn't have he don't have a clip for nothing. He wasn't born with a clip, man. He can just fire and hit. He didn't get that good without discipline.
That's right. That's right.
We have discipline. Our problem is we only use it in the areas that the slave master has opened up for us, where he knows that we will engage in a non-threatening exercise of power. So the white man used to have a saying that they used to share among slave makers, masters, and slave traders, that they don't say it now, but it's practiced in society.
Right.
Their mindset was nigga sing, nigga dance, nigga jump, or nigga die. And if you study it, brothers and sisters, you'll see that as we move as black people in the wilderness of North America, these are the only 4 areas of human endeavor black people are allowed to manifest greatness in without hindrance and suppression. So if you're going to sing for me, you can be on top. If you're going to dance for me, then we'll let you have the millions. And if you're not singing or dancing, then jumping is all sport and play. So in other words, if you're not rapping, if you're not singing, if you're not dancing, and if you're not hitting a ball, throwing a ball, passing a ball, or dunking a ball, the only thing left for you to be is a dead man. So when you look at where greatness is buried at, our greatness is buried in the NBA. Our black excellence is buried in the NFL. Our black excellence is buried in the field of entertainment. And the number one place where all dreams and all black excellence has been buried is the cemetery. Because inside the cemetery, there are soldiers that left way too soon. They were born to be world changers. Are y'all still all right?
Yes, sir.
So I remember a few years ago, they let Magic Johnson come to the new rookie camp for the NBA.
Right.
And I always wondered, you know, when I listened to what he was saying, I said, why come they don't keep having him back?
Right. See. Question.
I'm going to tell you why they don't have him come back. See, they know, white people in power know that the average career for a professional athlete is 7 years.
That's right.
Yeah, you didn't hear me.
Yes.
I said, how many years?
7 years.
7 years. And that if you come into professional sports at the age of 22 and you got a 7-year run,
Yes, sir.
no matter how many millions that you make, when you leave, you're 30 years old.
That's right.
So you still have a whole lot of life to live.
That's right.
But they know that a fool and his money will do what? So the only way that I, as a white man that governs the society, can reap the benefit of the millions I gave you is if I keep you a fool. So when I give you the money before you leave the league, you'll give the money to my brother car dealer.
Go ahead.
Give it back.
Or you'll give your money to make sure that you're flossing and you're bedazzled out. And you'll go see my brother Jacob the jeweler.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
I don't know if y'all ever done the math on this though. If the number one jewelry maker for arts, for the entertainment world is Jacob the jeweler, did you know that the word Jacob in Arabic is Yaqub? Yeah, y'all not hearing me. So Yaqub, the father of the white race, produced a devil by playing with 2 pieces of steel. What does a jeweler play with? Huh? Some metals.
That's right.
Another lecture for another time. I just wanted to put something on your mind. Y'all still all right?
Yes, sir.
So when Magic Johnson was there, he made this revolutionary statement to the young new athlete. He said, my goal, brothers, today is to help you all to take the brain you built in basketball and use it for business. I'm telling you, as soon as the Jews heard that, they said, he ain't coming back.
That's right.
As soon as the Illuminati heard that, they said, he ain't showing back up.
That's right.
As soon as the Trilateral Commission and the Bilderbergers or the heads of the 8 royal families or the Carnegies, the Assages, the DuPonts, the Rockefellers, as soon as the social engineers and the architects of confusion that run the world, as soon as they heard that he was trying to show them how to take the brain they built in do you understand what that means? That means that the same commitment they had to developing ball handling skills and shooting a three and hitting 99 out of 100 free throws, they would get ready to have that same devotion to building business for black people? Do you know could you imagine what a LeBron James would look like as an engineer?
Yes, sir.
What is a Michael Jordan doctor? Huh? What is a Serena Williams chemist? So when you see Serena, when you see LeBron, when you see Jordan, you are looking at greatness, but not greatness in tune with their purpose for living. If they were to ever be introduced to their real purpose for living, and they took that brain they built in tennis or brain they built in basketball and use it for the purpose for living, you are looking at world changers.
That's right. Go ahead.
Oh, that's another lecture for another time. I didn't plan on talking about that. You'll say, well, you come back for both of those lectures. Well, I just work here. Invite only. So y'all let me know when we'll come back. Why do I say that we all can get a check? See, the legal definition of insanity is one that employs a method over and over again that has proven to fail them. In other words, insanity is doing the same thing expecting a different result. So one of our impediments that has us in this cycle of recycling everything we're trying to be, do, and have is that we have never started the year off right. Under the proper law that will give the year a nature that will make that rest of the 11 months fulfill what we started the year off doing.
Yes, sir.
Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
So, the subject today is under new management. Now, anytime you see a banner on a business that says under new management, you know that means, number one, some changes have taken place.
That's right.
Did y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Change is necessary not only to become new, but change is necessary to keep from getting old.
That's right.
Okay, y'all got two people there together.
Break it down, brother.
The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said this.
Sir.
The hardest fight you will ever have is when you go to war with yourself to accept the challenge to change. See, change comes when the mind collides with a new idea.
Right.
And then you make the uncompromising decision to engage in doing something different until you achieve the goal you set out for to change to. So change comes with challenge.
That's right. That's right.
And if it don't challenge you, it don't change you.
That's right.
See, one of the clearest ways that you will know whether or not you are still youthful or of the youth, or whether you have gotten old and you are dying and on your way out, is if when you talk, you're more excited about your memories than you are about your dreams.
That's right.
Does that make sense?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
If every time you open your mouth, all you can say is how we used to be and what I used to do.
Yeah.
Or boy, back in the day,
Right.
I used to.
Don't have no future goal.
Now, if your past is brighter to you than your future, that's a sign that you've gotten old.
That's right. Go ahead.
Youth is not age. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said that youth is not determined by age. He said youth comes whenever you deal with a person that has a mind still susceptible to change.
Go ahead.
So you don't really become old until you stop trying to change.
Right.
The minute that you stop becoming humble and hungry, where you start looking, or you stop looking around trying to be better than what you're, that's the minute that age has taken you over. So changing is not just to be made new. Changing is to keep from dying off.
Yes, sir. You want it, sir.
Does this make sense?
Yes, sir.
Now, when a person dies, when you see their obituary or whenever you see their tombstone, the biggest thing that stands out to those of us that are looking, even before we read about the person, first thing we do is we pick it up and we look at the day they were born. Can I get a witness? Yes, sir. This is true. Tell the truth. Yes, and then you look over and see the day, and then you start calculating. Is this the truth? Yes, sir. Whether it's tombstone or whether it's the obituary, we always look at the day, born, year, born, day, died, year, died. And we want to count. They was 85 years old. But brothers and sisters, the most important thing on the tombstone or the obituary is not the day we were born, nor the day we died, but what's most important is the little dash in between. Yes, sir. Because that little dash in between represents the life of the person.
That's right.
So when you look at the day they were born, birth is a B. Right? Right? And then when you look at the day that someone dies, death is a D. Well, in the alphabet, you have A, B, C, then D. So in between D, B, and D, there is something called a C. So if B is birth and D is death, then the C is the choices that we make. So at the end of the day, the B and the D is not the most important thing. What's important is the English lesson number C. I mean, it's the C.
Go there.
You gotta catch that? And for the record, if you have this thing called the Supreme Wisdom Lessons by our Savior Master Farad Muhammad, you got something special. Now, why is it called English lesson number C1? Do you know the letter C, whenever you convert it into a verb, is S-E-E, which means to see or means to observe and means to look at? Yes, sir. Do you all remember the Honorable Elijah Muhammad saying something like this about a man named Farrakhan? Wherever you see him? Yes, sir. Good point. Look at him? Yes, sir. But wait a minute, is not C the third letter in the alphabet? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So who's the third man in the line of divine? You got the master, you got, You got the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, and you got the minister. So technically, if you really want to see the two, you got to see the one. And to see the one, let you know the one is the one that's the third.
That's right, that's right.
Okay, I'm leaving it alone. Now, brothers and sisters, MGT? Yes, sir. Has it not been taught to a Muslim mother to not read devil's bedtime stories to their children? Yes, sir. This is true? Yes, sir. I got the mighty sister Medina in the house. She can help me out. She got the facts now. That's true. Yes, sir. What's wrong with the devil's bedtime story? It's the devil in subtle form. You just gotta really find him now. But no, it's some demonic stuff in these. That's right. And then you putting your baby to sleep with this man. That's right. Meaning the conscious mind is distracted and almost shut down. Subconscious mind is open. Right. And inside the subconscious mind, there is called the RAS, or the reticular activation system, which means that whatever you put in the subconscious mind, the reticular activation system begins working 24 hours a day, even when you're not thinking about it, trying to bring it into existence. Right. So whatever's put in the subconscious mind is very important. That's right. So when a baby's going to sleep, the subconscious mind is open. That's right. And then we are putting the baby to sleep, talking about rockabye baby. In the what? Come on. In the what? That's child neglect. That's not right. So you don't just, why come rock the baby at the tree top? And then guess what else happens? Some other stuff happens, don't it?
Yes, sir. Come on with it.
And when the wind blows, the cradle will rock, right? But that ain't the bad part. According to the bedtime story of the devil, the cradle will rock, and when the bow breaks,
That's right. Come on.
hold on, the cradle will fall,
That's right.
and down will go baby. Down will go who? So now they went from child neglect to child abuse. The baby and the cradle green fall out. That ain't something to put inside no baby's brain. All you're saying is, look, don't trust your mama. Don't trust your mama. Your mama don't love you. In fact, your mama can't wait for you to start falling asleep because she going to take you to the top of a tree with the hope the wind going to blow and drop you, so I ain't got to keep changing you. No, that's one of the devil's bedtime stories. Mary had a...
Go ahead, brother.
And the fleece was... white snow. Okay, well, time out. What happens when the little boy or girl goes to Sunday school? And now they learn that one of the names for Jesus is the Lamb of God.
Come on. That's right.
And now they associate the bedtime story with the sheep having fleece white as snow. Jesus is the Lamb of God. Well, if the fleece is white as snow and Jesus is the Lamb of God, then his skin must be white as snow. See, indoctrination of a white Jesus in the bedtime story.
That's right.
Think about this for a second.
That picture up there.
Roll, roll, roll your boat.
Come on.
Gently where? Well, if you're going down the stream, you're going with the current of the... Hell, the problem is in this world, truth is stranger than fiction. In this world, this is not God's world. This is the devil's world. So we're not living in the kingdom of God. We're not living in the hereafter. This is not paradise. We are living in a high-class, luxurious hell. Is that the truth? So the only way that it's okay to roll your boat gently down the stream and go with the flow is if the current is going in the right direction. But if we live in a world that's hell, and we live in a world where truth is stranger than fiction, we live in Satan's world, we're not to go with the flow. We got to tell the baby, no, turn your boat around. So don't roll gently, roll aggressively. Up the stream. Well, Marilyn, life is not a dream, life is real. And you got to make choices. If you want to make sure what's between B and D is on something. Is everybody still all right?
Yes, sir.
So when the mother reads the story, English lesson number C1, the baby is told to learn and memorize and recite it.
That's right.
Oh, this is deep.
Come on with it.
Because in the English lesson number C1, it does not say his name is W.F. Muhammad.
That's right.
It says my name is W.F. Muhammad.
Right.
So now, what does that do to the psyche of a little junior FOI, junior MGT? What does it do to the psyche of a little black child?
Yes, sir.
As they began to learn of the great wisdom and power and the godhood of Master Farad Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
Then they remembered that not his name, but my name
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
is W.F. Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
What that does is, by the law of substitution, it begins to suggest to the child, everything I'm learning about Master Farad Muhammad is really what I'm learning about myself.
That's right.
So whatever he is and he has become, I too can be the same thing. I'm a God. All praise be to the Lord. And look at us, FOI. This is the FOI uniform.
Yes, sir.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Now, on a traditional uniform, if you go see a uniform for anybody that's a part of anything, whether it's the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, or hell, if they work for Jiffy Lube. Come on now. If they're the general on your job site, if they wear a uniform, they have a name tag, don't they?
That's right.
And on their name tag, they put their name there.
That's right.
But notice that on this uniform, we don't get to put our name on the name tag. We got WFM, which stands for Wallace Farad Muhammad.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
So if his name is in the place of our name, and that name tag is over our heart, then what we are suggesting to ourselves is that to become the real us is not to look in the mirror and see our name on our heart, but to look in the mirror and see God in the heart and know that you are God. All praise be to Allah. And I'm messing up my time. God. I can't take my time. I'm going to have too much time. So brothers and sisters, not only are we in need of being under new management, but according to the scripture, the whole planet is in need of being under new management.
Yes, sir. That's right.
God said that there was going to be a new Jerusalem. See, anytime that you're making a new thing, that means you must be dissatisfied with the one that exists.
That's right.
That's right.
So if you're going to make a new Jerusalem, then God can't be too happy with the one that's here. Then another verse says that God was going to make a new heaven and a new earth.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
So he must be dissatisfied.
Yes,
That's
sir.
right.
And then the God just stopped naming things individually specific. In the 21st chapter of Revelation, it says when God comes, he makes all things new.
Yes, sir.
But time out.
Come on.
See, things are made by people. So you can't have a new thing unless you have new people.
Yes, sir.
And the Bible says, coming from the mouth of the prophet Solomon in Proverbs, that as a man driveth down the street, so is he.
No, sir.
No, sir. No, sir.
No, it don't say that?
No, sir.
As a man haveth in their pocket?
No, sir.
It don't say that either?
No, sir.
As a woman weareth?
No, sir.
So it says, as a man what?
Think.
So if it's as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he, then there should be more effort in the energy put into development of the mind than into the development of the outfits.
Yes, sir.
Cars we drive, houses we live in, the money we put in the bank account. Okay, I'm just saying. Brothers and sisters, our life is our mind turned inside out.
Hey, come on with it.
Go ahead.
That's what that says. If as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Everything that we are looking at is nothing more than a reflection of our mind turned inside out.
Go ahead.
You say, but I never heard the Honorable Elijah Muhammad say that. Yes, you have. You just wasn't listening.
Come on with it, Muhammad.
The most honorable Elijah Muhammad said this. He said, the reason why black people live in the slum is because the slum lives in their mind.
That's right.
You didn't hear me. Have you ever wondered why we call it the hood? You know why we call it the hood? It's an abbreviation for neighborhood, but we don't call it neighborhood because there's no neighbors in the hood. Because in order for you to have a neighbor in the hood, you got to have brotherhood, sisterhood, motherhood, and fatherhood.
That's right.
In that hood.
That's right.
But a hood is not just a suffix, but it's also in noun form a piece of fabric attached to the back of a shirt or a jacket.
Yes, sir.
A hood covers the head.
Right.
Y'all still with me? So the reason why it's called fatherhood and motherhood is because you're not a father just because you're a daddy.
Go ahead. Sing.
And you're not a mother just because you're a mama. There is a difference between a mama and a mother. And there's a difference between a daddy and a father. I still only got 9 people that agree with me. Yeah, why y'all making this so hard? You say, but I do agree with it. I just didn't say no. Well, you got to say something. I don't know if you agree if you don't say it. Need some head nods, shake hands. Can I tell you a secret? We got guests in the building. This is their first time ever coming to one of these Muslim services. Did y'all hear me? Yes, sir. And some of the people that came out, y'all been trying to get them to come out.
Yeah, come on.
But now it's a special guest, so they was able to come. So now you finally got cousin and them to show up.
Right.
And some of the stuff I'm saying up here, you've been trying to say.
Right.
Is this the truth?
Yes, sir.
So if I say it from up here, it has one effect on the person that hears it. But if you say, that's right, go ahead. Or you clap, then it produces inside of the sanctuary what we call the ricochet effect. Which means not only do they hear the word from the rostrum, but whenever you second the motion, then it goes even deeper into the mind of the one that has heard it. Does that make sense? So in the world of communication, there's 4 channels of communication. You have a transmitter, you have a channel, you have a receiver, and then you have feedback. Well, if someone's teaching that transmitter, the channel is the word being spoken. Those that are hearing what the teacher is saying, they are the receiver. But the transmitter does not know whether or not the energy made it through the channel to the receiver if the receiver doesn't give them some feedback. Does that make sense? So I'm not asking you to bear witness so that you can make me believe what I'm saying. Or so that I can feel good that people clap. That has nothing to do with it. I'm asking you to bear witness so that it has a ricochet effect. I'm asking you to bear witness so that the transmitter knows that energy is made through the channel to the receiver. And feedback has been rendered. Can we do that? All right, all praise is due to Allah. All praise is due to Allah. So if the God is going to make all things new, I said your life is your mind turn what? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that the reason we live in the hood is because the slum lives in our mind. See, if just like a hood covers the head, the reason we call it motherhood and fatherhood, and anytime that a mother has a relationship with a man and that man's no longer considered her significant other, she very rarely calls that man her baby's father. It's always her baby's dad. Sisters, I transmitted. Is that? Now, brothers, whenever you with a sister and all of a sudden, at a certain point, she go crazy. But yes, she has your son or your daughter. Very rarely do you refer to her when she's gone mad. You don't say, that's my baby's mother. You say, that's my baby mama. See, even though we didn't know the etymological breakdown of it, we know by common sense that there's a difference between a daddy and a father and a mama and a mother. See, a daddy is someone that knows how to plant a seed in the womb to bring a child into the world, and a mama is someone that can receive that seed and let the work of God happen in her womb and bring birth to that child. But a father and a mother is not someone that knows how to go through the physical act of procreation. It's someone that has knowledge in their head that knows how to prepare the child they brought into the world to successfully navigate in the world they brought them into. So fatherhood, motherhood, because to be a mother and a father, you have to have a certain knowledge in the head, under the hood. Ain't no such thing as mamahood and daddyhood. You don't need knowledge to just be that. You need knowledge to be father and to be mother. So the hood that we live in is really nothing more than a physical environment that reflects perfectly the collective consciousness of the people that share space and time in one location. So when you come to a place, whatever it looks like, that is a physical replica of the dominant thoughts of the people. You say, man, it's so dirty around here. Well, check their thinking. Why is that? Why all the cars so broke down? Because their minds are broke down. Why does everything look so disorganized? Because the mind's disorganized. Have you ever noticed how you think better whenever you clean your house? Huh? Okay, time out. Have you ever... Now, do you know how hard it's been to get him to put them shoes up? And put stuff back? Huh? Why did you leave the cabinet open? Why come everything is left open all the time? What's so wrong? Why come you can't let the seat down? You one man, there's 6 women in the house. What is it? Why do you have a shaving bag and leave all the shaving stuff on the sink anyhow? Next to the bag. Don't you know that to put the stuff next to the bag, you had to put your hand down a few centimeters lower than putting it inside the bag? So now, hold on. Now I done said something y'all been wanting to say, y'all been trying to reinforce all the years y'all been married. And I just taught y'all about the ricochet effect. And then y'all and sister, y'all done slipped up. Y'all had a chance to be able to drive the point home of the value of a clean house. And then y'all want to try it again. You ready?
Go ahead, bro.
Take 2. Have you ever noticed that how you think better whenever you're in a clean house?
Yes, sir.
See, you know what? You cannot have clean, organized thoughts in a dirty, disorganized environment.
That's right.
Including your car. You want to know why you got road rage? Hell, that's because you got 2 bags of Cheetos spread out, distributed all through the cracks of your car. 4 spilled pops, a half a sandwich in the glove compartment. Dashboard got enough dust on it to remake man. And you want to know why you got a road rage? Now, we not spooky. But tell me if I'm the only one to notice this. Does a clean car seem like it run better? Have y'all noticed that, brother? This is the truth. So the point that we're trying to make is that if all things are going to be made new and things are the product of people, in order for things to be made new, there has to be new people. And if as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. In order for you to make a new thing, you need a new person. To make a new person, you need a new mind. And to have a new mind, you have to be introduced to a new teaching. And to get a new teaching, you have to meet the new teacher.
That's right.
Well, we got to close out, but I'm telling you, the new teacher is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He has the new teaching that will make a new mind, that will make a new name, that will make all things new. All praise are due to Allah. Under new management. All praise are due to Allah. Is everybody all right? Golly. We still got a few minutes. Well, I'm going to skip a few things, and but hopefully you'll get today, and then we have another lecture titled the same thing, and you get that one and get the rest of those ingredients. But time is not going to let us get them all. There's a New York Times article that's titled, "Will Your Resolution Last Until February?" Hell of a title, ain't it? And Franklin Covey, which is a time management firm, polled 15,000 of their customers that made New Year's resolutions, and they found that 4 out of 5 of everybody that made one broke every last one of them. The number one thing that they said was that as a general rule, the problem is that most people state general desires instead of specific goals.
Go ahead.
A goal is not a theme.
Right.
A goal is something specific.
Yes, sir.
So one of the reasons why people did not make their resolutions come through is because they're too broad in explanation.
Right, sir.
I want to lose weight.
Yeah.
If you don't have a specific amount, you might say you were successful. I lost 2 ounces.
That's right.
But when you're specific,
Yes, sir.
you state the exact amount that you want to lose, and then there's a plan involved where it's broken down week by week in order what I must eat, not eat, and what I must do to burn a certain amount of calories. Since 1 pound is 3,500 calories, I have to burn this amount of calories to burn. Oh, it's specific.
Yes, sir.
The other thing that they found out, the reason why people broke their New Year's resolutions, is something that is fixed by the most honorable Elijah Muhammad if we study these supreme wisdom lessons.
Man, come on with it.
That the people made their word blonde, not bond.
Man, go ahead.
Now you know they didn't say that. This is the remix version of it. I said made their word blonde. Now see, you know blonde is weak and recessive.
Right, see?
But we're supposed to be making our word bond.
Yes.
Not blonde. In other words, they said that the second reason was people don't have enough respect for their own word. They don't mind putting it out there and then not fulfilling it. They don't mind saying they're going to do a thing and then procrastinate so long that it never gets done. Some of us so crazy that we actually feel good enough talking about what we want to do that we don't actually have to do it. Everybody got something in their family. That one is getting ready to start this business and going to get this going and get crank this up. And they do all the talking about it, but they don't know it. None of it ever comes to fruition. They actually felt good enough explaining it and getting you to say, man, that's a good idea. That's all they wanted. They actually have to build nothing. Just the fact that you smiled and agreed was sufficient proof that they won. That's making word blonde, not bond. Well, in this supreme wisdom question and answer number 11, the question is raised by Master Farad Muhammad to the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, and he asks him this. Have you not learned that your word shall be bond, regardless to whom or what? Time out. Because every person that exists is a whom. And any situation or circumstance is a what? So if we are learning that our word should be bond, regardless to whom or what, look at the answer. Yes, sir, my word is my bond. Yes, and my bond is life, and I shall give my life before my word shall fail. Yes, well, if we are to make word bond regardless to whom or what, there is not a person on the outside or the inside that can stop you from achieving your objective. And if every situation and circumstance is a what, then regardless to what happens, you can make it happen. Yes, does this make sense? Yes, and my word is my bond, and bond is what? Life. And I will give my life. In other words, I'm willing to die on what I say I'm going to do. That's the highest level of commitment right there. When you say either I'm going to do it or I'm going to die. Y'all still all right? Yes, sir. Now, and for the record, brothers and sisters, as a public service announcement, if anyone is thinking about whom's and what's, and most of your attention was put on stuff on the outside of you, you're looking for problems in all the wrong places. Did you hear me? Yes, sir. The greatest whom is the whom called self. Yes, sir. And the greatest what is the situation and circumstance that are the byproduct of our own stinking thinking. Right. So the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said like this. He said, we have to get our own foot out of the way of our salvation. Yes, we tripping ourselves. Yes. There's a man named Elihu Goldratt. They did a study in a book called Goals. It's called The Theory of Constraints. Man, come on, wait. Constraint meaning those forces that happen in someone's life that either stop you from achieving a goal or slow you down. And he found that in the study of thousands of people, when the math was done, 20% of the things that slowed or stopped people were based on outside people and other circumstances. And 80% of what stopped people was based upon their own thoughts in their own mind that was rooted in doubt and fear. So at the end of the day, the real enemy, wait a minute, I said the real what? Have you ever looked at the word enemy? Kind of let you know where it's at. The real one is in a me. See, the real enemy ain't out there. That's not the one stopping us. The real enemy stopping us is in a me. Okay, y'all didn't agree with it. All right, never mind. I tried. So, brothers and sisters, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said this in closing. Think 5 times before you speak. Yes, sir. That you may be right. So it's still a possibility that we will be wrong. But part of the reason why he's saying it is not just so that we are right, but he also wants us to think about what we put in our word out there, because our word is our bond. And bond is life. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said like this: every time you give your word and you make your word bond, you strengthen your character. But every time you give your word and you don't make your word bond, you weaken your character. Character, it really is the real us. You know your character, because character is who you are when nobody else is looking. Does that make sense? Yes, sir. Character is the inner sum total of all the thoughts and decisions we have on the inside of ourselves. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said this: character is the sum total of all of the decisions that we've made. I say sum total. Yes, sir. So if it's the sum total, then to make a bad decision don't mean you are a bad person. I thought everybody was going to want to bear with us that one. Much stuff we didn't be messing up. Okay, let's see if it. To tell a lie does not mean you are a liar. To steal don't mean you're a thief. No, but to consistently steal. Now, when you keep stealing, you are a thief now. And as the minister said, he said, whenever lying becomes your mother tongue, no, you have not lied. You are a liar. And if you got a consistent pattern every single day of doing something bad and wrong, you have officially become a bad person. It's the sum total of the decisions that we make. So one bad this, one good that. That's what the Quran tells us. Look, keep on fighting. Yes, hunger and thirst after righteousness. Yes, sir. Vie with one another in righteousness. Yes, and then vie with one another for the forgiveness of Allah. Yes, why? Because good deeds outweigh bad deeds. Yes, so I don't know. See, the believer's always trying to find something good they can do. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because we know not the full weight of our wrong. Yes, to know what weight of good deed I have to do to recover that bad wrong. Yes, sir. No, all deeds are not created equal. Now, there's some bad stuff that's worse. Yes, and there's some good stuff you can do that's better. Yes, is this the truth? Yes, sir. Ain't no way you're not going to tell me that a person that cusses somebody out is equal to a child molester. No, sir. That's worse. No, that's worse-er. I don't even know if I know that's not a word, but y'all understand what I'm saying. So we can't go out there and commit fornication and say, man, I gotta find me a good deed to do. Oh, here go a peppermint wrapper. I didn't put. Well, I'm even. No, hell, you not. No, it got that. It don't say outnumber. It says outweigh. Yes, sir. So the believer not knowing the weight and of magnitude of wrong, we always trying to find some more good we can do because we want to make sure that we can balance the scale. Yes, sir. All praise is due to Allah. Every time we make our word bond, it increases our stature among others and makes people love and trust us more. Yes, sir. Would you agree with that? Yes, sir. Well, brothers and sisters, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad summed it all up like this. He said the first law in the universe is motion. Yes, sir. And the second law is order. Yes, sir. So we live and we in motion. Yes, sir. But unless this motion or this thing called life is brought into under divine order, right. Motion without order is chaos. Yes, sir. And anytime you have motion that is not harnessed, motion that is not organized, motion that is not disciplined, motion that is not regulated, then you have a cycle of action that is on its way out of existence. So the second law of the universe is order. And when you look at motion and order, that's another way that people say it's cause and effect. I don't care what you believe in, cause and effect is going to get us. The Buddhists and the Hindus call it karma. Yes, sir. Right. Jesus said it like this, what you put in is what you get out. No, Jesus, that was Big Mama. But no, it's still true. Jesus said the same thing Big Mama said, though. Big Mama said what you put in. Didn't she? Didn't Big Mama say what goes around? Big Mama knew she talked. Jesus said like this, as a man soweth, the same shall they reap. You sow the wind, you reap the world with. So what you put in is what you get out. Even in the world of technology, they have a statement called GIGO, G-I-G-O. Garbage in equals garbage out. You cannot put anything on the hard drive of a computer and then turn it off, turn it back on, and pull something different off of it. What you put in is what you get out. And guess what? They made the computer as a carbon copy and a cheap replica of the human brain. So the hard drive, okay. So we might want to be a little more careful about how much empire we want. We might want to be a little more careful about how much scandal we put into the head. We might want to be a little more careful about how much ooh. Okay, all right, I'm leaving alone. We might want to be careful on what music we stick in our head. Because whether we know it or not, they're called television and radio programs. And the definition of a program is the installation of commands in a device in advance of that device being turned on or activated. So every time we are putting things in our mind, whether it's from the song, whether it's from the screen, or whether it's observing what we see in life, we are downloading something on the hard drive. It's only a matter of time before circumstances and events show up and we have to draw from information on that subject and we accidentally pull from empire. And we're going to have a problem if we pull it from empire.
Go ahead.
Y'all all right? So brothers and sisters, I wanted to just share just a few laws. Is it okay? Can I have 7 minutes?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
7 minutes.
Yes, sir.
All right, we're going to start the clock. 7 minutes. Now this is going to have to be in consolidated, concise form, because there's no way we're going to be able to get all of this done. Can I say this before we talk about these laws?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See, if the universal law that exists in every religion and in nature is found in Bible, Holy Quran, among the Hindus, Buddhists, even they call it karma, even among the Egyptians, they call it law of cause and effect, they call it mayat. Among the Hebrews, it's called kashuva. In Islam, we call it the mizam or the balance, or another term is kafara. And Jesus, of course, as he said, as a man soweth, the same shall he reap. This is universal. Yes, cause and effect governs everything. What you put in is what you get out. Yes, sir. However, there are supporting laws that make the law of cause and effect really, really work. Yes, sir. One of those laws that you'll find is something that you can call it this. It's just another way of saying it, but it's the law of attraction. Yes, sir. The law of attraction says that you attract into your life those things which are most in harmony of your dominant thoughts. Yes, sir. Whatever you dwell upon grows and increases inside of you. Right. Your life is your mind turned what? Inside out. So whatever you're thinking about most of the time is what's going to win. And when it wins, it's going to draw unto self people, situations, and circumstances that are a reflection of the nature of the thoughts. You say, well, I never read that in the teaching. Yes, you have. You just don't remember. Come on, Muhammad. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad said that inside of the human brain, there are 14 billion brain cells. Yes, sir. And these brain cells have inside of them thoughts that are traveling at 24 billion miles per second on the average. Yes, thoughts are things. Right. Thoughts are electrochemical energy, which means they're fast-moving chemical energy charged with electricity. Right. So if you have these things, they're not unreal, they're just unseen. Yes, you don't see the thoughts, but the thoughts are real. Right. That's why you walked inside of a room before and you can tell that they were talking about you. Right. And you didn't hear not a word that was spoken or read any thought. And when you walked in there, you noticed that the atmosphere was a little bit smoggy, a little thick. Right. Some of us went and said, man, the air was so thick in there, I could cut it with a butter knife. Right. All that means is that people were thinking something negative about you. And since you have been trying to think positive about yourself, negative about you in that environment is opposite of the frequency you're trying to keep yourself on. So when you go inside of that, the environment is interrupting and interfering with your ability to properly compute and transmit signals to self and others. That's thoughts, though. But if the thoughts are going around 14 billion brain cells, and everything that's in a cell is a circle, and if something is moving in a circular motion, then circles produce two forces, centripetal and centrifugal. Centripetal means when an object spins, it repels. Centripetal means whenever it spins, it draws things too. So whenever you're thinking a certain type of thought, whatever the nature is of your thoughts, you begin to attract to yourself people, situations, and circumstances that match the nature of your thoughts and repel the opposite. That's attraction. Number 2 law, the law of a habit. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said it takes 21 days to break a bad habit and to replace it with a new one. It's very important not just to try to break a habit, but also to find the new one that's good to replace it. If all you do is stop smoking, and you don't replace it with a new good habit, you find that everybody you know that has stopped smoking, they gain about 50 to 100 pounds in the next year. Soon as you stop smoking, you replace it with another bad habit, which was called Krispy Kremes or Dunkin' Donuts. Come on, you know what I'm talking about. So the law of habit says that every time you repeat an act, it gets easier and easier until that act requires of you no conscious effort. In other words, once a thing becomes so easy to you that it requires no conscious effort, you do not have to employ any discipline, fight, drive, focus, fortitude, or willpower. It becomes as natural for you to do that good thing as it is for you to blink or breathe. And once you get the thing to the point where it's like blinking and breathing, you can redirect some of your energy into other areas of your life that need improvement. That's the law of a habit. Y'all still all right?
Yes, sir.
The law of 3 that comes from our brother Booker T. Washington. He said, do what you have with what you have. Do what you can with what you have where you are.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The fastest way to get what you really want is to show that you appreciate what you really have. Our Father who art in heaven. Well, what if our Father in art in heaven used the same father logic you use as the Father that's on earth? You don't buy your children something and then they mess it all up and you buy them a better one. Is this the truth?
Yes, sir.
They coming to you talking about they want some true religion genes. And for the record, true religion is not pants that you use to cover your behind. It's principles you use to cover your mind. And it don't cost $450. In fact, you can get it for about $10. It's called Message to the Black Man. Another $10 you can get out Savior Has Arrived. 2 more $10s to get you Eat to Live Book 1 and 2. 1 more $10 to get you Fall of America. $20 to get you a Holy Quran. We ain't even spent $100 yet, and we got true religion all the way. There's something to think about. Something to think about. All praise to teach you Allah. But you're not going to give you're not going to get your child no rock revivals that cost $300. Oh, no true religions that cost $400 when they destroyed them $30 Levi's. First thing you say is that why would I? No, why? No, look at me, son. Look at me. Why would I, after I bought you that one thing? Do you remember how you took? Look, 3 weeks I looked at, I couldn't even tell. Well, what if the God did us like that? But if we're doing what we can with what we have where we are, then we are taking care of what we possess. And the scripture says, if you're faithful over a little, I will make you a ruler over much. All praise I do to Allah. Do what you can with what you have where you are. This next thing helps us, especially as you're trying to build a business, or you're a parent, or you're trying to work this mission of saving your people, or you're in leadership trying to organize our people for the good. This will help us to handle and manage frustration and disappointment. I don't know for sure. I know that we have a lot of emotions that we have to rise above. But 2 of the biggest emotions that you have to rise above whenever you are trying to organize black people is frustration and disappointment. Because it's very hard dealing with us. Because with us, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. No, I'm serious. Somebody in front of you and they're real broke and poor and raggedy and broke down. You say, see, I can't get with him. He ain't got nothing, man. Dude, on me. Look how broke he is. I'm not following him. But the same person that said that about the man if he was broke, next thing you know, he pulls up in something nice and he's looking good. See what I'm saying? He's stealing. Listen, I ain't going nowhere to get nobody my money. You damned if you do, you damned if you don't. Do you know that not only are we disagreeable with one another, but sometimes we are actually disagreeable with ourselves? That is really you shouldn't really be offended too much if somebody doesn't like you all the time. Because nobody even likes themselves all the time. Honest truth. Honest truth. No, I ain't fooling with her. She's sometimes. Well, hell, so are you with yourself. Sometimes you like yourself, sometimes you don't. This is true. But this law is called the law of the lid, which says that your ability will always be a few notches above your effectiveness.
Yes, sir.
In other words, if you are a 10 in ability, you might be a 7 in effectiveness.
Yes, sir.
Frustration comes whenever you think based on your 10 in ability, it's supposed to produce a 10 in effectiveness.
Yes, sir.
So if I'm doing something and in my mind I have it all figured out on the level 10 and it does not produce that kind of fruit, maybe I should quit, maybe it ain't going to. No, your effectiveness will always be a little less than your ability. So if you really want your ability to be up there on a effectiveness up there on a 10, you got to get that ability up there on about a 14.
That's right.
To make sure that it can produce the 10. If you need it on a 20, it got to be around a 30. Does it make sense? So ability, what we know, is going to always be greater than what we actually can say and do. That helps us keep from frustration and disappointment. The next law is the law of probability. The law of probability says that if you do a large volume of labor in a sincere manner, then you will produce a certain result. If you want to be able to get one person to come to the mosque, you got to have 10 people that said they was going to come.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Did you hear what I just said?
Yes, sir.
If you got 5 people that said they was going to come and you show up, you'll be sitting around here talking about, why come in did nobody show up? No, even in sales, they find that in sales, that in order for you to actually sell something, you have to have talked to 20 people that said they was going to buy it. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said this about leadership. He said, you're doing good if you can get a 60% participation rate.
Yes, sir.
Right. That's a little above half.
Right.
Y'all still okay?
Yes, sir.
So success in any arena, brothers and sisters, comes from being willing to do a large volume of sincere labor, but having a modified expectation of what the results are going to be. You and I will not be successful until we graduate mentally where we know how to go from failure to failure without losing excitement for the original goal we set out for. We have to be willing to go from one failure to the next and say, you mistake next time. I'm going to do it different next time. But always keeping that level of enthusiasm. Knowing in your heart that we will be the winners. All praise is due to Allah. Y'all still okay?
Yes, sir.
The next one is called the law of efficiency. I messed up my minutes. The law of efficiency says there's never enough time to do everything, but there's always enough time to do what you're supposed to be doing.
Yes, sir.
Did you hear me? Every time somebody comes to you and asks you, was you able to get that done yet? Was you able to do that? Well, did you ever do it? And you say, no, I don't know. I can't find enough time in the day. No, the problem is not that there's not enough time in the day. The real problem is not enough day in our time.
Yes, sir. Bring it down.
Because everybody got access to the same clock. It's 23 hours, 56 minutes, and 46 seconds in every day for everybody. So anyone that has done it is proof that it can be done. So if somebody else did it, you can't tell me you didn't have time and they did.
Yes, sir.
No, there's not enough time in the day. No, there's really not enough day and time. Meaning that we don't have enough energy when we do what we do. So we have the quantity, but we don't have enough quality we bring to the quantity. So it's something lacking in our beingness that makes our doing this not produce the happiness that we're shooting for.
Yes, sir.
So the way that we have to come, we got to come with a little more energy. Y'all understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir.
The law of self-control. Have you noticed that, brothers and sisters, that you feel better about yourself whenever you can make your no, and your yes, your yes?
Yes, sir.
Have you noticed that the time you get real sad and depressed is whenever you engage in default in duty?
Yes, sir.
The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan says stress comes from default in duty.
Yes,
The reason we depressed and the reason we stressed out, and by the way, depression is nothing more than ingratitude in a nice outfit.
Yes, sir.
That's all it is.
Yes, sir.
Ain't never a reason to be depressed.
Yes, sir.
I told a brother this one day. We was on the elevator. He looked at me like I was crazy. And then while we was on the elevator, 3 white people got on barefooted, dripping water everywhere. Anybody know what white people and wet mean? Y'all know what I'm trying to say. I didn't know. I was looking for Spuds McKenzie or Fido or Lassie or Benji or somebody. No, they weren't there. Okay, I'm gonna leave it alone. So after they got off the elevator, I told the brother, I said, brother, look, if you're ever having a hard time producing you a gratitude list so that you can modify your thinking, just always remember, you could have been born a white man.
That's right.
And for that alone, the fact that I told him, I said, look, the fact that you got melanin and Muhammad, you got something to be grateful for. Right. So I'm telling you, as long as you got melanin and Muhammad, everything else can be worked out. All praise unto to Allah. Law of self-control. The law of reversibility. The law of reversibility. I'm looking at my thing. It's talking about the battery gear and go dead. All right, hope we can make it. Hope we can make it. We on Facebook Live, Detroit. Can y'all send some love to the thousands of people that's watching us? Facebook Live. All praise to Allah. I call my phone the mobile Mosque. We got hundreds here, but we got thousands on there. So welcome to Detroit.
Welcome to Detroit.
Y'all better be here in the middle of February to come hear the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan live and in person.
Right.
The Son of Man is going to land in Detroit. You better be here with that Son of Man. What did I say? The law of what? Reversibility. Y'all still okay?
Yes, sir.
Did you know that? Have you noticed that whenever you're happy, you smile?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Have you noticed that when you're excited, you move fast?
Yes, sir.
Have you noticed whenever you're alert, if you're sitting down, you scoot to the edge of your seat?
Yes, sir.
Lean in a little bit?
Yes, sir.
What that proves is that for everything that goes on a psychological level, it produces its physiological response. Right. But guess what, though? The law of reversibility has proven that what happens physiologically can affect your psychology. It's impossible for you, even if you're not feeling good, to keep a smile on your face and keep thinking negative. Did you hear me? Yes, so even if you're down, smile anyway and watch you come up. Yes, that's the law of reversibility. Yes, even if you're not excited, move fast anyway and you'll get excited. Yes, even if you're not paying attention, so what? Scoot to the edge anyhow. Yes, and watch you become alert. Yes, what that says is that your mind can affect your body, but you can use your mind over matter and then put your matter back over your mind. Does that make sense? Law of reversibility. Last two. Law of accumulation. The law of accumulation basically tells us that success is not an event. Success is the announcement of many small events put together. Yes, that's right. There's not one big thing that we're going to do on one day. Now all of a sudden, hocus pocus shazam, everything's going to be all right. Success is a bunch of small little increment things that have been done, and then at a certain point, you have put all those small things together, and it becomes this big thing that the public can see. I don't know if y'all know about a man by the name of Joe Frazier in Detroit. I don't know if y'all ever heard of a man named Joe Frazier.
Yes, sir.
The great boxer?
Yes, sir.
Joe Frazier said this. He said, look, he said, champions are not made in the ring.
That's right.
They are announced there.
Right, sir. Come on, come on.
That's
See,
right.
you don't become what you are on the day of. You become what you are by doing a whole lot before the day. If it wasn't for the medicine ball, the jumping rope, the road work, the many rounds that they did, the speed bag, the heavy bag, when he got in the ring, that's all reflex from there.
Yes, sir.
Without training, he would have been nothing in the ring. So he didn't become a champion when the bell rung. He became a champion before he ever showed up at the arena. And he was announced that after he went through a few rounds and the bell rung.
Yes, sir.
Same for us. Y'all still okay?
Yes, sir.
Law of indirect effect, and this is the last law. These are 4 C's. Courtesy, concern, consideration, and compliment. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said this in one of his hadiths. He said, if you help another, Allah will help you.
Yes, sir.
He said, look at this, if you screen another, Allah will screen you.
Come on.
He then went on to say this. He said, even if you just remove a pebble out of the road of your brother and sister, Allah will then remove an impediment from within inside of your soul.
Yes, sir.
So you telling me, Allah, that if I move a rock out the road, that you getting ready to do for me, you going inside of me and removing one of my impediments? So this law of indirect effect says that you become successful in one area by what you do in another area.
Yes, sir.
Does this make sense?
Yes, sir. Come on.
Don't do good looking for the good to be rewarded by the